Joining us today for this conversation, she's the actress in Jane the Virgin and Orange is the New Black. Please help me welcome Diane Guerrero.
Everything that I did, this followed me. The shame, I would hear the word immigration or I would hear people talking about it and I would shy away from it. Even though I had so much.
Yeah, I was born in New Jersey. My parents were undocumented, but they tried really hard to get documentation and they went through many different avenues, and this was sort of like a typical conversation in my house literally every day because we were living in fear a lot because, you know, the conversation was, oh my gosh, we still don't have our papers, we have our family, but we don't feel safe. I was always interested in doing something with my life and living the opposite of what my parents lived, so I didn't want to live in fear. I mean, every day as a kid, I would pray to God and I'd say, all I want is for my family to be together so they're all working and they're all happy and that I get to go to school and I get to be something really special one day so that I can make them proud. And then my parents were deported when I was 14, and that was a really tough situation because I made the very tough decision to stay in the States.
Tell me about that day. What happened? You come home and you find the kitchen empty.
Yeah, it's weird because their cars were there and dinner was started and the lights were on, but I couldn't find them. And then the neighbors came in.
And that's how you found out that they were gone? The neighbors told you?
Mm-hmm. Here's the part where you're supposed to know kind of what you want to do or what kind of person you want to be. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to be because I was 14 and I was in high school and I was sort of by myself. I became very anxious. And also, I just didn't know where to turn. I didn't know where to turn with my feelings. I didn't know where to turn. I don't know how to fill out this application. I don't know how to really handle money. There's like a lot of things that, you know, I was sort of like forced to learn on my own. But luckily, I had a really nice community and I really had a, like I said, like what my parents had taught me, which was work hard. And I know that you don't have the resources that maybe somebody else has, but you need to find them. I mean, just graduating high school was a huge feat because I was without my folks and I got to do all these wonderful things even though they weren't here, and I know that I put my best foot forward in every situation and it worked out. Not always, but there were times and instances that they did, and that just spoke volumes for me and just like validated the hard work. So I continued with that. And I continued with that in college, and then after when I decided to say, okay, I'm gonna try to take on a really difficult industry and put myself out there in a way so that people can see me. Because I felt like no one saw me, just like no one saw my parents or so many in my community. And I wanted to be seen so that eventually maybe I can be heard someday.
So you have a very successful acting career now. And I'm curious, what would you say to dreamers like us, or even people that grew up in similar situations as you, that have to decide between maybe pursuing the career of their dreams, but they're also thinking in the back of their mind, well, I gotta provide for my family, and I don't know if I wanna risk going into such a crazy industry.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I mean, I always had that in my mind, that, oh my goodness, I have to make money. And how am I gonna, if I do this, then that's a risk. Everything's a risk. Everything's a risk. And everything that we do in our lives, we do because we have a passion for it in some way. The worst is to say, I heard this makes money, so I'm gonna go and try to do that. That's no good, right? It wasn't until I just stopped denying myself what I really wanted to do, what really made me happy, and then I just went for it. You have to stop thinking about, oh, this won't bring me money. Everything you need to do is just so that you can live to your best possible self, so you could be your best possible self. If you're not doing what you want to do, then you're going to be cranky, then you're going to be angry, and you're not going to be successful, and you're not going to be able to eventually help others. So I wanted to be an actor because it made me happy and it made me feel good, and I was like, oh, I'm a way better person, and I can serve people if I'm doing this sort of work because it makes me feel good. Then, you know, I started evolving and knowing what the real reasons were, because I wanted to tell my story. I wanted to tell stories that would influence people, and I wanted to comment on society and what was happening to me and the people and the folks around me. Then I was like, wait a minute, I'm getting to interview and I'm getting seen. Now now I need to say something important and something that matters.
What people don't realize that it is so difficult for some people to get documented and to get their papers and to become legal. And my parents tried forever, and this system didn't offer relief for them. And what I'm asking
So who would have thought you still get to do what you love and you still get to live that like activist life or whatever that I so passionately wanted to do. I always wanted to be like, who's these? Yeah, like you have to be passionate about anything that you do in order to be successful in it and eventually be able to provide for yourself and your family.
Well, going off of that, how do you deal with the negative repercussions of you being so outspoken? Because I mean, being an actress, you're in the spotlight to begin with, and then you outed yourself as having parents who are undocumented, which you didn't need to do, and you have put yourself in a position where you're speaking up for things that a lot of people have very negative impressions about. It's scary to put yourself out there when you know that there are so many people that are going to hate you no matter what you say, no matter what facts you throw at them. How do you deal with that? And what advice would you give to people who are sort of afraid to put themselves out there because of that?
I deal with that sort of hate on a day-to-day. We all do. I mean, I don't want to be known as doing nothing. I don't want to live my life and saying I could have done that or I could have made a difference and then I didn't because I was afraid. And you're afraid if you speak out and you are you're too political or you're too this or you're too that people aren't going to respect you. But it's like you gotta like let go of that. I'd rather not sit there and let all these feelings boil up while people talk negatively about my community and who I am and what my family represents and try to take me out of this story. I'm like, let's just back up for a second. I'm part of the story too. I'd rather speak out about those feelings than let it boil up and feel angry and depressed and sorry for myself and feel more isolated than I have in the past. When I didn't talk about this stuff, when I was afraid that others would shut me down, I was living a very unhappy life.
As we explained briefly before, we're all 20-somethings, kind of like unsure what to do in life or what life has in store and how to like be people in society, honestly. Like we have no idea.
Be good people. Be good people. And I think that honestly, people think, oh, well, there's nothing for me to do. There's so much for you to do. And we need to start thinking globally. We need to start like helping each other. I know it sounds like cliche, but living with purpose. I'm trying to do that, and ever since I did, I feel so much more powerful. I'm owning who I am. I'm not ashamed of who I am. And I want to help others feel more of that, feel proud of who they are, take a stand, and also see the importance of helping others. And I think little by little, I would give myself the opportunity or have an imagination for one thing. Like I would set small goals, and I'd say, okay, so I'm here. And never did I think that I would be here. So if I achieve this, maybe I should set another goal and see what happens after that. And it sort of just kind of escalated that way. And every day is a challenge to balance everything. And sometimes you feel like you're not strong enough. But if your intention is to eventually help others with the work that you do, then I think you're golden. I think you're in a good place.
I feel like we're seeing a lot of ourselves in these people. Like, I know someone who has been deported before, and Diane's parents were deported. And it's just these patterns that you keep seeing in everyone that I definitely see myself in them.
Hi, thanks for watching this video. I'm Anna, I'm a senior editor here at Roadtrip Nation, and if you haven't already, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Also check out our other videos. We have a lot of other great stories to share.